Have you ever felt completely alone, even when surrounded by people? Do you sometimes wonder why it feels like nobody understands you, no matter how many friends or family members are around? Loneliness can seem like an overwhelming burden, but it might surprise you to know that it can also be a powerful opportunity for personal growth and self-discovery. Imagine sitting quietly by yourself, perhaps in a park or your favorite spot at home. The world around you continues with its noise and busyness, yet here you are, alone in your thoughts. At first, this solitude might feel uncomfortable, even frightening. But what if I told you that this alone time could be a gift rather than a curse? This is where Buddhism offers a unique perspective. Welcome to Wisdom Woven. In this video, we're going to explore how solitude, often seen as loneliness, can actually be a path to profound inner peace and clarity. If you're feeling isolated or disconnected, don't worry. We're here to guide you through the transformative power of solitude according to Buddhist teachings. Now, here's a thought. Did you know that even though our channel has so many views, only 0.2% of people subscribe? Your support can make a big difference. So, if you find this content valuable, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your engagement helps us bring more insightful content to you. In this first part, we'll dive into the essence of solitude and how it relates to Buddhist philosophy. We'll discover how being alone doesn't mean being disconnected. Instead, it offers a chance to connect deeply with ourselves. Buddhism teaches us that solitude is not a punishment, but an opportunity for reflection and inner growth. It allows us to face ourselves, understand our true nature, and find peace within. Think of solitude as a blank canvas. When we are alone, we have the freedom to paint our lives with new colors, free from the influences and distractions of the outside world. This period of being alone is a time for introspection, a chance to explore our inner selves without the constant noise and interruptions of daily life. In Buddhism, this concept is closely related to mindfulness and self-awareness. Being alone offers a space where we can practice mindfulness without external distractions. It's in these quiet moments that we can truly listen to our thoughts and emotions, understand our desires, and address our fears. So, how do we make the most of our solitude? How can we turn these moments into opportunities for growth? As we explore these questions, remember that solitude is not about isolation, but about finding a deeper connection with ourselves. It's a chance to embrace who we are, to discover our strengths and weaknesses, and to grow in ways we might never have imagined. In the next parts of this series, we will delve deeper into how solitude can be a source of strength and clarity. We'll explore Buddhist practices and insights that can help us transform our perception of being alone into a powerful tool for personal development. Stay with us as we uncover the transformative potential of solitude and learn how to embrace it as a path to a richer, more fulfilling life. Remember, your journey towards understanding and growth starts with the willingness to look within. So, once again, if you appreciate what you're learning, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. Your support means the world to us and keeps the wisdom flowing. Let's embark on this journey together, exploring how being alone can lead us to greater self-awareness and inner peace. Understanding loneliness through Buddhist teachings. Loneliness can feel like a shadow that follows us around, no matter where we go or who we're with. But what if I told you that this feeling of isolation is not something to fear or resist? Instead, in Buddhism, loneliness is seen as a chance to deepen our understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. Imagine walking alone on a quiet path in the forest. The silence around you is deep, and there's no one else in sight. At first, this solitude might seem unsettling. Yet, as you continue, you begin to notice the gentle rustling of the leaves, the rhythm of your footsteps, and the peace that surrounds you. This silence, once intimidating, starts to feel comforting. In Buddhism, this experience is not unlike the way we can approach our loneliness. In Buddhist teachings, loneliness is often described as a natural part of life, not something inherently negative. The Buddha taught that all beings experience feelings of isolation and separation at times. This is part of the human condition. But how we respond to these feelings can make all the difference. Loneliness can be an opportunity to learn more about ourselves. When we are alone, we are free from the influence of others. we can turn inward and reflect on our own thoughts and emotions without external distractions. This process of self-reflection is a key aspect of Buddhist practice. By understanding our inner world, we gain insights into our true nature and our deeper needs. Buddhism teaches us that loneliness is a chance to cultivate inner peace. When we are alone, we have the space to practice mindfulness, a core principle in Buddhism. Mindfulness is about being fully present in the moment, without judgment or distraction. It's a way of tuning into our own experience and learning to accept it as it is. Consider how mindfulness can help with feelings of loneliness. When you sit quietly and focus on your breath, you create a space where you can observe your thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. This practice helps you see that loneliness is just a passing state, not a permanent condition. It reminds you that you are more than your feelings and that peace can be found within. Another important aspect of Buddhism is the concept of interconnectedness. Even though we may feel alone at times, we are always connected to others and the world around us. The Buddha taught that all beings are interdependent. Our actions, thoughts, and feelings affect others, just as theirs affect us. This understanding can help us feel less isolated, knowing that we are part of a larger whole. In moments of loneliness, it can be helpful to remember this interconnectedness. Even if we are physically alone, we are still part of a vast network of life. This realization can bring comfort and a sense of belonging, even in the midst of solitude. Loneliness also provides an opportunity to practice compassion, both towards ourselves and others. In Buddhism, compassion is not just about helping others, but also about being kind to ourselves. When we feel lonely, it's important to treat ourselves with the same care and understanding we would offer a friend. By doing so, we can turn our loneliness into a source of growth and self-compassion. Practicing self-compassion involves acknowledging our feelings without judgment. Instead of criticizing ourselves for feeling lonely, we can accept it as part of our human experience. This acceptance allows us to move through our feelings with greater ease and to find peace within ourselves. In Buddhism, solitude is not about escaping from the world, but about finding a deeper connection to our own inner life. It's a chance to explore who we are without the influence of others. By embracing solitude and using it as a time for reflection and mindfulness, we can transform our experience of loneliness into a path of personal growth and understanding. As we continue to explore the teachings of Buddhism in relation to loneliness, remember that these feelings are a natural part of life. They offer us a chance to connect more deeply with ourselves and to cultivate a sense of peace and belonging. By approaching loneliness with mindfulness and compassion, we can turn it into an opportunity for greater self-awareness and inner harmony. The essence of connectedness in isolation. When we talk about feeling alone, it often feels like a heavy weight, doesn't it? Yet, the Buddha teaches us something quite different about solitude. He shows us that even in moments of isolation, we are not truly alone. There's a deeper connection waiting to be discovered if we look closely enough. Imagine a quiet forest. At first glance, it might seem empty, with only trees and a few birds. But if you listen carefully, you'll hear the rustling leaves, the distant call of animals, and the gentle hum of life all around. In the same way, solitude can appear empty, but it is actually filled with hidden connections and possibilities. When we're alone, it's easy to feel disconnected from the world. We might think that solitude is a sign of being cut off from others. However, Buddhism teaches us that this feeling of disconnection is an illusion. Our true nature is connected to everything and everyone around us, even if we don't always see it. Think of a drop of water in the ocean. Alone, it might seem insignificant, but it is an integral part of the vast, interconnected sea. Similarly, we are individual drops in the ocean of existence, connected to everything and everyone. Solitude doesn't mean separation. It means an opportunity to connect with our inner self and, through that, with the larger world. In Buddhism, understanding this interconnectedness is crucial. The Buddha spoke of the interdependence of all things. Just as each part of a forest contributes to the whole ecosystem, each person contributes to the greater whole of humanity. When we are alone, we can use this time to reflect on our place within this web of existence. During solitude, we can practice mindfulness, a key aspect of Buddhism. Mindfulness helps us recognize and appreciate the connections we have with ourselves and others. When we are mindful, we start to see that our thoughts, feelings, and experiences are all part of a larger, interconnected whole. This realization can turn our feelings of isolation into a deeper understanding of our place in the world. For example, when we sit quietly and focus on our breath, we're not just being alone with ourselves. We're tapping into a universal rhythm shared by all living beings. Our breath connects us to the life force that flows through every creature. In this way, solitude becomes a bridge to a greater sense of unity and connection. Another way to experience this connection is through meditation. When we meditate, we often feel a sense of oneness with the universe. This practice helps us understand that we are not isolated beings but part of a vast, interconnected reality. Meditation allows us to feel the presence of others, even when we are physically alone. The Buddha also taught that by examining our own suffering and joy, we can better understand and empathize with others. Solitude provides a space for us to reflect on our own experiences and develop compassion. This compassion extends beyond ourselves and connects us to others who may be experiencing similar emotions. So, what can we do when we feel isolated? Embrace the moment of solitude as a time to connect with our inner self and the larger world. Use this time to practice mindfulness, meditate, and reflect on the interconnected nature of all beings. By doing so, we transform loneliness into a powerful opportunity for growth and understanding. Remember, even in our moments of solitude, we are never truly alone. We are part of a greater whole, connected by the threads of existence that bind us all together. Solitude allows us to see these connections more clearly and to find peace in knowing that we are always part of something larger than ourselves. As we continue on this journey, keep in mind that each moment of solitude is an opportunity to deepen our understanding of our interconnectedness with the world. Embrace these moments, knowing that they are a gateway to a richer, more connected existence. Embracing solitude. Lessons from the Buddha. Have you ever felt like the world is too busy and you just want to escape to a quiet corner, away from everyone? Loneliness might seem like a heavy burden, but what if I told you that this feeling could be a gateway to deep personal growth? In the teachings of the Buddha, solitude is not a punishment but a profound opportunity for self-discovery and inner peace. The Buddha taught that being alone is not about being isolated from others, but about finding a deeper connection with oneself. Imagine solitude as a calm, quiet space where you can hear your own thoughts without the constant chatter of daily life. In this space, you have the chance to truly listen to yourself, to understand your feelings, and to explore what makes you who you are. When we are alone, we often face our thoughts and emotions more directly. This can be uncomfortable at first, but it is in these moments of solitude that we can confront our inner struggles and find clarity. Buddhism encourages us to embrace these moments of being alone as a way to cultivate mindfulness and self-awareness. It's in these quiet times that we can truly connect with our inner selves. Consider a quiet room where you are left alone with your thoughts. At first, it might feel unsettling, like the silence is too loud. But as you sit in this silence, you start to notice things you didn't before. Your mind begins to settle, and you can hear your true thoughts more clearly. This is what the Buddha meant by finding stillness in solitude. The Buddha taught that in solitude, we can learn to see things as they really are, without the distortions that come from our interactions with others. When we are alone, we are free from the judgments and expectations of the outside world. This freedom allows us to explore our own values and beliefs, to understand our desires and fears, and to grow in ways we might not be able to when we are surrounded by others. Embracing solitude means accepting that being alone is not something to be feared or avoided. Instead, it is a chance to connect with ourselves on a deeper level. The Buddha saw solitude as a way to practice mindfulness and to develop a deeper understanding of our own minds and hearts. By spending time alone, we can learn to cultivate a sense of inner peace and contentment that is not dependent on external circumstances. In Buddhist practice, solitude is often associated with meditation. When we meditate alone, we are not just sitting quietly. We are engaging in a practice that helps us understand our own minds and develop a sense of inner calm. Meditation in solitude allows us to observe our thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. It helps us see the impermanent nature of our experiences and to find peace amidst the ever-changing nature of our thoughts and feelings. One of the key lessons from the Buddha about solitude is that it provides a space for reflection and growth. When we are alone, we have the opportunity to reflect on our actions, to consider our goals, and to understand our true selves. This reflection is not about self-criticism, but about gaining insight into our own nature and finding ways to improve ourselves. Another important aspect of embracing solitude is learning to be comfortable with our own company. The Buddha taught that true happiness comes from within, and being able to enjoy our own presence is an important part of this. When we learn to appreciate our own company, we become less dependent on external validation and more secure in ourselves. In summary, solitude, according to Buddhist teachings, is a powerful tool for personal growth and self-discovery. It is not about being alone, but about finding a deeper connection with ourselves. By embracing solitude, we can practice mindfulness, reflect on our lives, and cultivate a sense of inner peace. The Buddha's teachings remind us that being alone is not a state to be avoided, but a valuable opportunity to connect with our true selves and to find a sense of calm and contentment within. So, the next time you find yourself alone, remember that it's not just about being isolated from others. It's an opportunity to explore your own mind and heart, to practice mindfulness, and to grow in ways you might not be able to in the midst of constant activity and interaction. Embrace your solitude as a gift and a chance to deepen your understanding of yourself. Finding inner peace when alone. Imagine you're sitting by yourself, perhaps on a quiet morning, with the world around you still asleep. At first, you might feel a sense of unease or even loneliness. But let's explore how this very solitude can become a path to inner peace, according to Buddhist teachings. When we are alone, our minds often start to wander. We might think about our worries, regrets, or future plans. This can be overwhelming. But Buddhism teaches us that this time alone is a perfect opportunity to practice mindfulness and self-compassion. In Buddhism, the practice of mindfulness is central. It means paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment. When we're alone, we have a rare chance to observe our inner world without the distractions of daily life. It's like being given a quiet room where we can listen to our deepest thoughts and feelings. Let's consider this. If you're alone and your mind is racing with worries, this is actually a chance to become aware of these thoughts. Instead of letting them control you, you can observe them. Imagine sitting by a stream, watching leaves float by. Your thoughts are like those leaves. They come and go, and you don't need to grab them or hold on to them. Just observe. Buddhism teaches that inner peace comes from understanding and accepting ourselves as we are. When we're alone, we have the space to reflect on who we truly are, free from the roles and expectations others place on us. It's in these moments that we can connect with our true selves, finding a sense of calm and clarity. Let's look at a simple exercise. Find a quiet spot and sit comfortably. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. As you breathe, bring your attention to the present moment. Notice the sensations in your body, the sounds around you, and the rhythm of your breath. If your mind starts to wander, gently bring it back to your breath. This practice helps calm the mind and brings you closer to a state of inner peace. In Buddhism, there's a concept called equanimity, which means maintaining a sense of balance and calm regardless of external circumstances. When you're alone, you have the opportunity to practice equanimity. By observing your thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them, you can develop a steady, peaceful mind. Think of solitude as a space where you can recharge. Just as a battery needs time to rest and regain energy, your mind needs quiet moments to restore its balance. In these quiet moments, you can find clarity and renewal. This is where you can reconnect with yourself and find a deeper sense of peace. Another important aspect is self-compassion. Being alone gives you a chance to be kind to yourself. Often, we are our own harshest critics. When you're alone, you can practice speaking to yourself with kindness and understanding. Imagine you're comforting a friend who is struggling. Speak to yourself in the same gentle and supportive way. In Buddhism, there is a practice called metta, or loving-kindness meditation. It involves sending thoughts of love and compassion to yourself and others. When you're alone, you can practice metta by silently repeating phrases like, "May I be happy," "May I be healthy," May I be at peace. This practice helps foster a sense of love and compassion toward yourself, enhancing your inner peace. When you're alone, you also have the opportunity to cultivate gratitude. Take a moment to reflect on the things you're thankful for, no matter how small. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, bringing a sense of contentment and peace. It's also important to remember that being alone does not mean being isolated. In Buddhism, there is a concept of interconnectedness. Even when we are alone, we are still connected to others through our shared human experience. This awareness can help reduce feelings of loneliness and enhance your sense of peace. Solitude is a chance to cultivate a deeper understanding of yourself and your place in the world. It's a time to explore your inner landscape, to find calm amidst the chaos, and to connect with a sense of inner peace. By embracing solitude and practicing mindfulness, self-compassion, and gratitude, you can transform these moments alone into a powerful source of inner peace. So, the next time you find yourself alone, remember that this is a gift. Use this time to connect with yourself, to practice mindfulness, and to cultivate a sense of inner calm. Solitude can be a path to profound peace and clarity, offering you a chance to recharge and renew. The role of mindfulness in alleviating loneliness. Imagine you're sitting alone in a quiet room. The silence seems to echo, and your mind is filled with thoughts, some comforting, others unsettling. In these moments, it's easy to feel isolated and disconnected from the world. But what if I told you that this solitude could be transformed into a profound experience of connection and understanding through mindfulness? Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, without judgment. It's about observing our thoughts, feelings, and sensations with gentle awareness. When we apply mindfulness to our experience of loneliness, it can change our perception and help us find peace and clarity. Consider the simple act of paying attention to your breath. Notice how each inhale fills your body with fresh air and how each exhale releases tension. As you focus on this rhythm, you begin to anchor yourself in the present moment. This practice of mindfulness helps shift your attention away from feelings of loneliness and toward the here and now. It's like a gentle guide that leads you away from the noise of your thoughts and into a space of calm and acceptance. When we are mindful, we start to see that our feelings of loneliness are not permanent. They come and go, like waves on the ocean. By observing these feelings without getting caught up in them, we can begin to understand that they do not define us. Instead, they are simply experiences that pass through our awareness. Mindfulness also helps us become more aware of our thoughts and emotions, allowing us to recognize patterns that contribute to our sense of isolation. For example, we might notice that we often think, "Nobody cares about me," or "I'm always alone." With mindfulness, we can observe these thoughts without automatically believing them. We can see them as temporary and changeable, not as absolute truths. Through mindfulness, we also cultivate self-compassion. We learn to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a friend. When loneliness strikes, instead of criticizing ourselves for feeling this way, we can gently acknowledge our feelings and offer ourselves comfort. This self-compassion helps reduce the emotional pain associated with loneliness and fosters a sense of inner warmth and connection. In Buddhist practice, mindfulness is a tool for developing insight and wisdom. It allows us to see our experiences more clearly and to respond to them with greater awareness. By applying mindfulness to loneliness, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our emotional landscape. We learn to see loneliness as a natural part of the human experience, not something to be feared or avoided. Consider a simple mindfulness exercise. Take a few minutes each day to sit quietly and focus on your breath. As you do, notice any thoughts or feelings that arise. Gently bring your attention back to your breath each time you find yourself distracted. This practice helps train your mind to stay present and calm, even when loneliness arises. Mindfulness also teaches us to appreciate the present moment. Often, when we feel lonely, we are caught up in regrets about the past or worries about the future. Mindfulness helps us ground ourselves in the present, where we can find joy and contentment in simple things. By focusing on what is happening right now, we can shift our perspective and discover new sources of happiness and connection. As you continue to practice mindfulness, you may find that your experience of loneliness begins to change. It becomes less about feeling isolated and more about being present with yourself. You start to see that being alone doesn't mean being disconnected. It's an opportunity to connect more deeply with your own inner world. Remember, mindfulness is not a quick fix, but a gradual process of learning to live with greater awareness and acceptance. It takes time and patience, but the rewards are profound. By cultivating mindfulness, you can transform loneliness into a space of self-discovery and inner peace. In the next part, we will explore practical techniques to integrate mindfulness into your daily life, and how these practices can further help in alleviating feelings of loneliness. Until then, continue to embrace the present moment with kindness and curiosity, and let mindfulness guide you towards a more fulfilling experience of solitude. Building inner strength through solitude. When you find yourself alone, how do you feel? Do you experience a sense of discomfort, restlessness, or perhaps even fear? Many people view solitude as something to be avoided, a void that needs to be filled with noise, company, or distractions. But what if solitude isn't a void at all? What if it's a powerful space where you can build your inner strength? Imagine you're a tree standing alone in a vast, open field. The wind blows fiercely, the rain pours down, and the sun beats heavily upon you. Yet, despite these challenges, you stand tall and firm. Over time, your roots grow deeper, your branches reach higher, and you become stronger. Solitude is like that open field. It exposes you to the elements, but it also gives you the opportunity to grow stronger from within. In Buddhism, solitude is often seen as a path to inner strength. When you are alone, without the distractions of the world, you have the chance to confront your true self. This can be uncomfortable, but it's also incredibly powerful. It's in these moments of solitude that you begin to understand who you really are, what you truly desire, and what you need to overcome. Think about a time when you were alone and had no one to turn to. Maybe it was during a difficult period in your life, a time when you felt isolated or lost. It's in these moments that you may have felt the urge to distract yourself, to reach out for something or someone to fill the emptiness. But what if, instead of running away from that emptiness, you embraced it? What if you allowed yourself to sit with your thoughts, your feelings, and your fears? This is the beginning of building inner strength. When you face yourself in solitude, you start to see your weaknesses, but you also begin to discover your inner resilience. You realize that you have the capacity to endure, to grow, and to thrive even in the face of challenges. In solitude, there are no distractions, just you and your thoughts. This can be daunting, but it's also a rare opportunity to connect with your true self. Buddhism teaches that our true strength doesn't come from external sources, but from within. When we're alone, we're given the chance to tap into that inner strength, to nurture it, and to let it grow. Let's consider a simple exercise. The next time you find yourself alone, take a moment to sit quietly and observe your thoughts. Don't try to push them away or distract yourself. Instead, welcome them, even the difficult ones. Notice how they come and go, like clouds passing in the sky. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. This realization is the first step toward building inner strength. As you continue to sit with your thoughts, you may begin to notice patterns, habits of thinking that are not serving you. Perhaps you often think negatively about yourself, or maybe you have a tendency to worry about things that are beyond your control. These thoughts can weigh you down, but in solitude, you have the chance to confront them head-on. Buddhism teaches us that by recognizing and understanding these negative thought patterns, we can begin to transform them. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, but with patience and practice, you can start to replace these negative patterns with positive ones. This is where your inner strength begins to grow. It's important to remember that solitude doesn't mean isolation. It's not about cutting yourself off from the world, but rather about taking time to connect with yourself. When you're alone, you have the space to explore your mind, to reflect on your life, and to cultivate a sense of inner peace. This peace is not dependent on external circumstances. It comes from within. In solitude, you can also practice mindfulness, a key aspect of Buddhism. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, without judgment. When you're alone, you can fully immerse yourself in the present moment, whether you're sitting quietly, walking in nature, or even doing a simple task like washing the dishes. By being mindful in solitude, you strengthen your ability to stay present, calm, and focused, even in difficult situations. As you build your inner strength, you may begin to notice changes in your life. You might find that you're more resilient in the face of challenges, that you're less affected by the opinions of others, or that you have a greater sense of peace and contentment. This is the power of solitude. It gives you the space to grow stronger from within. However, building inner strength through solitude doesn't mean you have to do it all on your own. While solitude is a powerful tool for personal growth, it's also important to seek support when you need it. In Buddhism, the concept of the Sangha refers to a community of like-minded individuals who support each other on their spiritual paths. While solitude is important, so is community. Finding a balance between these two can help you build inner strength in a healthy and sustainable way. So, the next time you find yourself alone, don't rush to fill the silence. Embrace it. Sit with it. Let it be a space where you can connect with your true self, confront your fears, and build your inner strength. Remember, solitude is not a void. It's a powerful space for growth and self-discovery. As you continue on this journey of building inner strength through solitude, be patient with yourself. This is not a race, and there is no finish line. It's a continuous process of learning, growing, and evolving. Each moment of solitude is an opportunity to deepen your connection with yourself and to strengthen your inner foundation. In the end, solitude is not something to fear. It's something to embrace. It's in these quiet moments, away from the noise of the world, that we find our true strength. And with that strength, we can face whatever challenges come our way with courage, resilience, and grace. Transforming loneliness into spiritual growth. Imagine you're standing alone on a quiet mountaintop, the vast expanse of the sky stretching out before you. The silence is profound, yet in this solitude, you might begin to feel a sense of connection that you didn't expect. This is the essence of turning loneliness into a journey of spiritual growth, a concept that Buddhism beautifully illuminates. When we talk about transforming loneliness into spiritual growth, we are essentially discussing how to use our moments of isolation as opportunities for deeper understanding and enlightenment. It may sound strange at first, but loneliness can be a powerful catalyst for spiritual development if we approach it with the right mindset. Loneliness, often perceived as a negative experience, can actually serve as a fertile ground for self-discovery and inner peace. In Buddhism, solitude is seen not as a curse, but as a precious opportunity. This is because, when we are alone, we are free from external distractions and societal expectations. This freedom allows us to turn inward and explore our true selves more deeply. Consider a time when you felt most alone. Perhaps it was after a big life change, or during a quiet evening by yourself. At first, this solitude might have seemed daunting, even painful. However, if we shift our perspective, we can see that these moments of loneliness are actually opportunities to connect with our inner selves. They offer us the chance to reflect on our lives, understand our thoughts and feelings, and grow spiritually. Buddhism teaches that solitude provides a space for meditation and self-reflection. When we are alone, we have the chance to practice mindfulness more fully. This means paying close attention to our thoughts, emotions, and reactions without the influence of others. In this quiet, we can begin to understand our true nature and the nature of our mind. One way to transform loneliness into spiritual growth is through meditation. Meditation allows us to sit quietly with our thoughts and feelings, observing them without judgment. This practice helps us to see our inner world more clearly and to develop a greater sense of peace and acceptance. Over time, meditation can lead to profound insights and a deeper understanding of ourselves. Another important aspect is embracing the concept of impermanence. Buddhism teaches that everything is constantly changing, including our feelings of loneliness. By accepting this, we can learn to see loneliness as a temporary state rather than a permanent condition. This perspective helps us to remain open and adaptable, finding peace even in challenging times. In addition, connecting with our sense of purpose can turn loneliness into a powerful force for spiritual growth. When we are alone, we can reflect on what truly matters to us and what we want to achieve in our lives. This clarity can lead to a greater sense of fulfillment and direction. By setting meaningful goals and focusing on our values, we can transform our solitude into a source of strength and motivation. It's also important to practice compassion during these times. Being alone can sometimes make us more aware of our own suffering, but it also offers an opportunity to cultivate compassion towards ourselves. Recognizing our own struggles can lead to greater empathy and understanding towards others. This compassion, when nurtured, can become a powerful tool for spiritual growth. Finally, let's remember that we are never truly alone. Even in our moments of solitude, we are connected to the wider world through our shared human experience. By acknowledging this interconnectedness, we can find comfort and strength in knowing that our experiences of loneliness are part of a larger, shared journey. As we continue to explore how loneliness can be transformed into spiritual growth, keep in mind that this journey is personal and unique for each of us. By approaching loneliness with mindfulness, acceptance, and compassion, we can turn these moments into powerful opportunities for self-discovery and inner peace. In the next part, we will delve deeper into practical mindfulness techniques that can help us navigate and embrace our solitude. Together, we'll uncover how these practices can enhance our spiritual growth and bring us closer to a profound sense of inner peace and fulfillment. The interconnectedness of all beings, a Buddhist view. Imagine walking through a forest. Each tree stands alone, but together they form a thriving ecosystem. In the same way, even though we might feel alone at times, we are deeply connected with everyone and everything around us. Buddhism teaches us that our sense of isolation is often an illusion. Understanding our interconnectedness can transform how we view solitude and our place in the world. Think about a single drop of water. Alone, it seems small and insignificant, but when combined with many other drops, it becomes a powerful force, a river, a sea. Similarly, each person is like a single drop, and our connections with others create a vast, interconnected whole. This view helps us see that solitude doesn't mean separation. Rather, it's part of a larger, interconnected reality. In Buddhism, this concept is known as interdependence. It means that everything exists in relation to everything else. Nothing is isolated or independent. This understanding helps us recognize that while we might feel alone, we are actually part of a greater network of relationships. Just as the forest trees support each other, we too are supported by and connected to the world around us. When we feel lonely, it's easy to forget this connection. We might focus only on our own feelings of isolation and overlook the many ways we are linked with others. Even when we're by ourselves, we are part of a larger whole. Our actions, thoughts, and emotions affect the world in ways we might not always see. Consider a simple example. When you smile at someone, it often makes them smile back. This small act of kindness creates a ripple effect, influencing their mood and their interactions with others. This ripple effect demonstrates how even our smallest actions are connected to the larger fabric of life. Our loneliness can be alleviated when we recognize how our presence and actions fit into this broader web of connections. Understanding interconnectedness can change how we approach solitude. Instead of seeing it as a state of separation, we can view it as an opportunity to deepen our connection with ourselves and the world. When we're alone, we have the chance to reflect on our place in the web of life, to appreciate how our existence impacts others, and to cultivate a sense of gratitude for the connections we have, even if they aren't immediately visible. Buddhism encourages us to practice mindfulness and awareness to recognize our interconnectedness. Through mindfulness, we become more aware of our thoughts, actions, and their effects on the world. This awareness helps us understand that our experiences of loneliness are part of a larger, interconnected reality. We are never truly alone. We are always part of a dynamic and interconnected existence. In meditation, we can focus on this sense of interconnectedness. By sitting quietly and observing our thoughts and feelings, we can begin to see how our experiences are connected to the wider world. Meditation helps us realize that our feelings of isolation are temporary and that we are part of a larger, supportive network. Another practice is to engage in acts of kindness and compassion. By reaching out to others and offering support, we strengthen our connections and remind ourselves that we are part of a greater whole. These acts help us see beyond our own loneliness and recognize the many ways we are connected to others. Buddhism also teaches us to embrace impermanence. Our feelings of loneliness, like everything else, are temporary and ever-changing. By understanding that our experiences are not permanent, we can let go of the notion that we are permanently isolated. Embracing impermanence helps us see that our current feelings of loneliness will pass, and we will continue to be part of the interconnected web of life. As we move through life, it's important to remember that our actions have an impact on others. By cultivating a sense of interconnectedness, we can create positive ripples in the world, even when we feel alone. Our contributions, no matter how small, help shape the larger network of relationships and connections that make up our lives. Recognizing our interconnectedness also invites us to practice empathy. By understanding and sharing in the experiences of others, we deepen our connections and lessen our feelings of isolation. Empathy helps us see that others, too, experience loneliness and that we are all part of a shared human experience. In conclusion, the Buddhist view of interconnectedness offers a powerful perspective on loneliness and solitude. By understanding that we are all connected, we can transform our experience of being alone into a journey of self-discovery and deeper connection with the world. Embracing this perspective helps us see that we are never truly isolated. We are always part of a larger, supportive network of life. Creating a mindful environment. Imagine walking into a room that feels instantly calming. The air is fresh, the space is uncluttered, and you can't help but feel at ease. This sense of tranquility isn't just by chance. It's created by intentionally designing an environment that supports mindfulness. Just like a clear, serene lake reflects the sky perfectly, a mindful environment helps reflect our inner calm and clarity. Creating a mindful environment means setting up your surroundings in a way that encourages peace, focus, and reflection. It's about transforming your space into a haven where you can practice mindfulness and find solace. This concept isn't about grand changes or complicated rituals. It's about simple, practical steps that can make a big difference. Start by looking around your space. Is it cluttered? Does it feel chaotic? A cluttered environment can create mental clutter and stress. By keeping your space tidy and organized, you create a more peaceful atmosphere. This doesn't mean you need to have a minimalist home or office. It simply means being intentional about what you keep in your space and how you arrange it. One easy way to start is by decluttering. Begin with a small area, like your desk or a corner of a room. Remove items that you don't need or that don't serve a purpose. Keep only what's essential or what brings you joy. This process can be surprisingly therapeutic. As you clear away physical clutter, you might also notice a sense of mental clarity beginning to emerge. Next, think about the sensory aspects of your environment. What do you see, hear, and smell? Each of these senses can either enhance or detract from your sense of calm. Consider incorporating soothing elements like soft lighting, calming colors, or pleasant scents. A simple candle, a plant, or a piece of art can create a more inviting and peaceful space. Sound is another important factor. If you live in a noisy area, it might be helpful to use sound machines or soothing music to create a more tranquil environment. Even a small fountain or the sound of nature can help mask disruptive noises and add a layer of serenity to your space. Don't forget about the comfort of your surroundings. Comfortable seating and a cozy atmosphere can make a big difference. Create a dedicated space for mindfulness or meditation where you can sit comfortably and focus without distractions. This could be a special chair, a cushion, or even a spot on the floor. Make sure it's a place where you feel relaxed and at ease. Now, let's consider the role of personal items in your space. Surround yourself with things that inspire and uplift you. This might include photos of loved ones, meaningful objects, or items that reflect your values and interests. These personal touches can help create a space that feels uniquely yours and supports your mindfulness practice. Creating a mindful environment is also about incorporating regular practices into your routine. Set aside time each day to engage in mindfulness or meditation. Your environment should support this practice by being a place where you can focus and be present. Having a designated time and space for these practices helps reinforce the habit and makes it easier to maintain. Remember that creating a mindful environment is a gradual process. It's not about making everything perfect overnight, but about making small changes that contribute to a greater sense of peace and well-being. As you continue to refine your space, you'll likely find that it becomes a more natural and supportive environment for mindfulness. In addition to your physical space, consider the digital environment you interact with. The online world can be a source of stress and distraction. By curating your digital space, organizing your apps, setting boundaries for screen time, and following content that supports your well-being, you can create a more mindful digital environment as well. As you cultivate a mindful environment, you'll begin to notice how your surroundings influence your mood and state of mind. A space that fosters tranquility and focus can enhance your mindfulness practice and support your overall mental and emotional health. Creating a mindful environment isn't just about aesthetics. It's about creating a space that aligns with your values and supports your well-being. It's about making choices that enhance your sense of peace and clarity, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. By taking these steps, you're not only improving your physical space but also nurturing your inner self. A mindful environment helps you stay grounded, centered, and connected to your practice. It's a powerful tool in your journey towards greater mindfulness and inner peace. Living with purpose, turning loneliness into fulfillment. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a vast, beautiful forest, looking out into the unknown. The forest represents the world of possibilities, and you, standing alone, are about to embark on a journey of self-discovery. This solitude isn't about being lost. It's about finding a new path, a path that leads to purpose and fulfillment. When we talk about living with purpose, we're discussing more than just setting goals or achieving milestones. Purpose is about understanding why we do what we do and finding meaning in our actions and choices. In the context of solitude, this means using our alone time to connect deeply with what truly matters to us and how we can contribute to the world in a meaningful way. Buddhism teaches us that every moment of our lives can be a chance to cultivate purpose. When you're alone, you have the opportunity to reflect on your values, passions, and aspirations without the influence of others. This is a powerful moment for introspection, a chance to tune into your inner self and understand what gives your life meaning. Living with purpose isn't always about grand gestures or dramatic changes. Sometimes, it's about small, everyday actions that align with your core values. For example, if you value kindness, finding simple ways to be kind to yourself and others can be a meaningful expression of purpose. If you value learning, dedicating time to explore new ideas and skills can bring a sense of fulfillment. Solitude provides a unique space to develop and deepen this sense of purpose. Without the constant noise and demands of everyday life, you can listen to your inner voice more clearly. You might discover new interests or revisit old ones that you had set aside. Perhaps you'll realize that helping others or pursuing a creative project brings you joy and satisfaction. Consider how the Buddha approached his own quest for purpose. After years of living in luxury, he chose a life of simplicity and meditation. This choice wasn't about rejecting the world but about finding a deeper connection to his own inner truth. His journey teaches us that purpose often emerges from within, not from external achievements or possessions. When you're alone, you can follow a similar path of self-discovery. Use this time to ask yourself meaningful questions. What am I passionate about? What activities make me lose track of time because I'm so absorbed in them? How can I use my unique talents to make a positive impact on others? These questions can guide you towards finding and embracing your purpose. It's important to recognize that living with purpose doesn't mean you'll always feel content or fulfilled immediately. It's a journey with ups and downs, but each step brings you closer to understanding yourself and your place in the world. The key is to remain patient and open to the process. One way to stay connected with your purpose is to set aside regular time for reflection. This could be through meditation, journaling, or simply spending quiet time alone. During these moments, focus on what feels meaningful and true to you. This practice helps keep your sense of purpose alive and guides you through life's challenges. Remember, solitude isn't a void to be filled. It's a canvas to be painted. Each moment alone is an opportunity to explore and express your purpose. Embrace this time with curiosity and openness, and you may find that it leads you to a deeper sense of fulfillment and joy. In conclusion, living with purpose is about finding meaning in your actions and choices, and solitude is a powerful ally in this journey. By reflecting on what truly matters to you and aligning your daily actions with your values, you can turn moments of loneliness into opportunities for growth and fulfillment. Embrace your alone time as a chance to connect with your inner self and discover the purpose that guides you towards a more meaningful and satisfying life. In the quiet moments when you are alone, have you ever wondered how you can turn that solitude into something meaningful? It might seem challenging, but the truth is that these moments of solitude hold incredible potential for living a life full of purpose and fulfillment. Let's explore how you can transform loneliness into a powerful force for growth and happiness. Imagine your life as a garden. When you're alone, it's like having a garden where you can tend to your plants without distractions. In this peaceful setting, you have the opportunity to plant seeds of purpose, nurture them, and watch them grow into beautiful flowers of fulfillment. Your solitude can be a time to cultivate these seeds and shape them into something meaningful. Living with purpose means finding what truly matters to you and focusing your energy on those things. This can be a transformative experience, especially when you're alone. The quiet allows you to hear your inner voice more clearly, guiding you toward what you really want to achieve in life. It's in these moments that you can reflect on your passions, goals, and values, and make plans to pursue them. Buddhism teaches us that purpose doesn't come from external sources, but from within. When you're alone, you have the chance to connect with your inner self and understand what gives your life meaning. This self-discovery is crucial for setting meaningful goals and finding true satisfaction. By listening to your inner voice, you can align your actions with your values and create a life that feels deeply fulfilling. Consider the story of a monk who spent years in solitude in a remote monastery. At first, the loneliness seemed overwhelming, but over time, the monk found peace and purpose in this solitude. He used the time to meditate, reflect, and work on personal growth. Eventually, he discovered that his purpose was to help others find the same peace and fulfillment he had found. His solitude had not been a barrier but a path to discovering his true calling. In your own life, solitude can serve a similar purpose. It's an opportunity to step away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life and focus on what truly matters to you. Whether it's a new project, a personal goal, or a deeper understanding of yourself, these moments alone can help you clarify your intentions and take meaningful steps toward achieving them. Turning loneliness into fulfillment also involves practicing gratitude. Even when you're alone, there's always something to be grateful for. This mindset can help shift your focus from what you lack to what you have, creating a more positive outlook on life. Gratitude can transform your solitude from a place of emptiness into a source of strength and inspiration. As you move forward, remember that living with purpose is a journey, not a destination. It's about continuously exploring and refining what matters to you, and finding ways to integrate that into your daily life. Your moments of solitude can be a powerful ally in this journey, providing you with the clarity and focus needed to pursue your goals with passion and dedication. So, embrace your alone time as a valuable opportunity for growth and fulfillment. Use it to connect with yourself, discover your purpose, and set meaningful goals. By doing so, you'll find that solitude is not something to fear but a gift that can lead to a richer, more fulfilling life. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the power of solitude. If you found these insights valuable, we'd love to hear from you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. Your support helps us continue to share these teachings and insights with you. May your moments of solitude bring you clarity, purpose, and fulfillment. Remember, you have the power to turn loneliness into a source of strength and joy. Keep exploring, keep growing, and most importantly, keep finding meaning in every moment.